Welcome to Reckless Paradise. I am your host, Marissa, and I'm here with my co-host, Dystro. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
I had to turn you down a little bit. I had my volume all the way up.
Hey, at least you can hear me, though.
Yes, I'm back.
I'm back.
No, I'm not Eric Bischoff. No. Just no. This isn't WCW.
That's why I died in 2001.
Damn. Anyways, happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everybody had a really good weekend. My weekend was okay. I was very busy this weekend, unfortunately. But other than that, it was okay. Weather was really good. I could definitely say that. What about you? How was your weekend, Dystro?
My weekend was filled with lots of working and
Working.
working. but
Working.
got a new work schedule, which I'll explain later on when we get to the
Oh,
Discord.
what is that noise?
What
Your it's like it's like your
uh,
cord's not plugged in.
it is.
Yeah, it's like making a whole bunch of noise.
No, is it gone or is it
Yeah, now it's gone. It's only when you move.
okay?
That's
Well,
weird.
I think it's just because it's the aux cord itself. Like
Okay.
if I move it, it like probably makes that noise. But never mind that.
Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. We hope you enjoy tonight's episode. So, this is the final episode of April. That being said, big changes are coming to the show coming in June. I did talk about them on the last Shoot the Shit episode that we just did earlier this month. If you guys have missed it, please go ahead and direct yourselves to that episode if you guys want to find out what's going on. But I will be talking about it again very, very soon, just so we can kind of go in depth and break down what's going to be going on in June. Thank you, Spotify, for podcasters.
I kind of went over a little bit more in my deep talks episode, a little bit more, um, but not the full picture of it. But I did say some changes were coming in June, so just be prepared for that, folks.
Yeah, the show's not going anywhere. We're still doing the
No.
show. It's just
Mm-hmm.
we've got a lot of big changes coming up. So
Mm-hmm.
let's try to enjoy every episode that we can that we still have left to do together, which is all of May. And we have some really, really solid episodes planned for May. I'm not even lying. Like, that's probably going to be the strongest month we've had all year for episodes.
Yeah, I would say so. Can't wait to get into those. Uh, but I mean, we're starting. We're ending the month off hot, but then we're starting the next month even hotter.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say. So, tonight's episode is another breakdown episode. We kind of did a full circle moment. We started the month with a breakdown episode with Euphoria from Def Leppard. Now we're ending the month with another breakdown episode, but this is ACDC. Yes, we have been kind of backtracking a little bit to the ACDC pilgrimage that we did almost 2 years ago.
Mm,
We are breaking down Black Ice from 2008. This is probably their best album from the last decade or so. Um, I absolutely enjoyed Black Ice. It is their longest album to date in terms of the amount of tracks that are on there. There's 15 tracks to go over. However, we're going to do these a little bit differently. You know how we did California not too long ago by Blink? We did that in two parts. We're going to do the same thing for Black Ice. We're going to do part one tonight. And then a week from today, so that's next Sunday, we will do part two. So part one will consist of tracks 1 through 8, while part two will consist of tracks 9 to 15. So, just like any other breakdown episode, for those of you who might be new to this channel and are unexperienced with how we do things on this channel, when we break down an album, we talk about this album track by track, meanings, how the songs made us feel, and then we rank each track on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being awful, 10 being really, really good. After that, we take the whole album and rank it as a whole on a scale from 0 to 100.
mm,
But in this case, tonight we'll be ranking tracks 1 through 8 as a whole, so part one of the album. And then part two will be ranked next Sunday. We'll take those two averages and add them up, divide them by two, and that'll tell you our overall average for this album in whole. Sound good?
Yes, that makes sense.
All right, so let's hop right on this train. No pun intended. And speaking of train, track number one starts off with Rock and Roll Train, which actually happens to be one of the singles off of this album. I remember when this song came out. I was young. I was like, oh God, six? I was six when this album came out. It came out in 2008. I remember when this song came out. I remember my parents had it downloaded onto my MP3 player, my little pill-shaped MP3 player, which I still have. I
Hmm.
still have that song on there to this day. I remember them downloading it onto that little MP3 player, and ever since then I've been hooked on it. So I guess you could say this was kind of like my first like in-depth experience with AC/DC as a kid, hearing this album all together. Especially this track. I mean, come on, this track is a banger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the whole album as a whole, since it came out in '08, um, they're still chugging along, no pun intended, but they're still trying to make music. And I remember the whole Black Ice tour when it came out too.
Oh, it was honestly, I think it was probably their biggest tour since like the 80s or even Razor's Edge era. Like it was probably their biggest tour almost of all time. It I remember they drew in so much freaking money. The crowds were packed. There were millions and millions of people showing up to these shows and they sounded great for 2008. Now,
Hmm.
also this is the final album featuring Malcolm Young on guitar as Malcolm's condition just started to deteriorate a little bit.
Hmm.
I remember in the documentary I had watched last year, Angus said he actually had to reteach Malcolm all the songs before each show for the Black Ice tour.
That's crazy.
Yeah, his condition was rapidly deteriorating. So
Hmm.
shortly after the tour ended, he had stepped away from ECDC and honestly never returned. So this definitely marks a big landmark or time period for ACDC. This was the last time you'd see ACDC in their full lineup. That's honestly still like kind of mind blowing to think about. But anyways, so with Rock and Roll Train, how did you feel about this song?
Um, Good question. Um, I mean, you can definitely tell, like, it's mid to almost late 2000s, like rock and roll. Um, I don't think they really changed their sound per se, but I do think, like, like the presence of Malcolm there, like, making sure, like, it was fully AC/DC without with nobody else replacing him in the band.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that was a good testament to like them being like, okay, like, look, this is the final like album. I put final in air quotes, but like album with Malcolm, before he completely, loses all of his like because he had dementia,
Yep.
and it's like, it was very quickly approaching them. So it was like, and to an testament to Angus too, like teaching him all the songs over and over and over again just to make sure he gets it down. That's a good like big brother kind of like move for Mal or for Angus to
What's
do.
funny is Malcolm's older than Angus.
Which, I mean, like, that's crazy. You wouldn't think that.
Like
I
every
I
time
didn't
I
think
think of the
that.
Young Brothers, I kind of get sad because it's like Angus is the only one that's left because Malcolm
Hmm.
and George died. Um, so did you find a meaning for this track?
So yes, I and plus I did the first 8 tracks.
Yeah,
If anyone's wanting to know.
and I did the last seven.
7.
Yeah, there's seven. So I'll be talking about those myself on next Sunday's episode. I have all the notes for that.
I get a day off.
You get a day off.
So it captures the essence of the classic rock and roll lifestyle. So it's like it's always like constantly moving. Like it's very fast if you think about it. Um, like a train, like it has like stops and goes, but it's like it's always constantly on the move.
Yeah,
So
self-explanatory.
self-explanatory, yes.
Pretty much. I'm gonna be honest. Finding meanings for AC/DC songs is harder than it looks. I'm gonna be
Hmm.
honest with you guys. We've had some pretty bad luck trying to find meanings for a lot of songs on a lot of albums. Blow Up Your Video by far being the worst trying to find meanings for. Um, this album kind of a toss up to find meanings for. To be honest, really depends on the website you use.
Hmm.
You found a really decent website. I applaud you for that. Obviously this song's a 10. Like
Yeah, I gave it a 10 as well.
it's memorable for me. Very, very memorable. Just like this next song. Track number 2, Skies on Fire. This is a song I played over and over during my 7th grade middle school year on my old iPod Touch. I remember I had this phase in 7th grade. I think it was like the second half of 7th grade. It was like spring, and I used to fall asleep. I had a habit of falling asleep with earbuds on, with music playing. This song, for some freaking reason, I had it on replay for like a couple weeks straight. I don't know what it was. Every time I hear it now, though, it kind of just like brings back a lot of good memories because like life was so much simpler then. Like us adults did not realize that that's how we would be feeling about our childhoods now.
Yeah, because it's like it seems like so long ago when
Times.
we were, wee toddlers and wee lads and
We
stuff.
lads.
But it's like I think it's like we take it for granted now because it's like, like back then it's like, we could kind of almost get away with stuff, but now we can't because we were younger back then.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still
Um.
young, but like,
Yeah. So what did you think about this?
So if you think about it, it could be like an anthem of some kind, maybe. If you like look at the lyrics, maybe. But what I found on it, it's like it's an anthem of resilience and determination.
Ah, okay, okay.
I
So
think it's like,
ACDC's getting out of the rated R stuff finally.
well, I mean, Malcolm Angus, they're getting older. I mean, come on. Like when they were younger, maybe, but
No pun intended.
yeah. Um,
We lose like instantly. We lose like 5 viewers.
don't say that. Um, but it's like I think it's like if you based off of the lyrical content on it, maybe that's what it could be. Um, but then again, like it was super hard to like try to find like a lot of meanings on this.
Yeah, this is kind
Um,
of one of those albums where you really just have to take it your own way. There's
mm,
really not a lot of significant meanings for some of these songs,
mm,
which is a little bit of a bummer. But like I said, the AC/DC albums can be very tricky. This one in particular was actually very tricky, especially in the second half.
mm.
I was struggling to find meanings, but you kind of helped me out a little bit.
Yeah, you have had luck with one in
Yeah, one,
in the second half,
one.
but I had to come in clutch with the rest of the meanings for all the other six. um,
So with Skies on Fire, I gave it a 10.
I gave it a 9.5, I think.
That's fine. Like I said, it's like memorable for me because it was like one of my favorite songs when I was younger.
Yeah.
I don't play it as much anymore. Maybe that should change.
Well,
All
because
right.
like, well, you got like Queens of the Stone Age on
Queens
there,
of
but
Stone Age and like Angels and Airwaves, which by the way we're wrapping up tomorrow. Kind of sad. Anyways, that's for another episode. Track number
mhm,
3 with Big Jack. Oh man, this is another song that I actually really liked from this album. When I heard it the first time around as a kid.
right. So I think if you cast your minds back to like the Bon Scott era, this could have been fit like perfectly within the Bon Scott era.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Um, because it's very like energetic. and stuff, and like Bond's like he's very energetic sometimes. Um, he's also kind of vibrant too when he speaks. Like when
And he
he,
has that like very raspy, like badass, like kind of voice.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like where Brian's like it's very like like it's Brian, so
It's
it's like
Brian.
it's just Brian. So, um, so I found it as like it's a vibrant and energetic anthem, which translates to Bon Scott right there. That celebrates the larger than life persona of a character named Big Jack, and that's the whole thing as a whole, like as the whole song.
Once again, folks, it's hard. This album's really hard to find meanings for.
Um, but no, that was like the actual meaning that I found.
Okay.
uh,
Damn.
I guess like um, this is just me though. I'm thinking it's like maybe it's a friend of the young brothers that had that person named Big Jack, maybe.
I just think of like a guy named Jack who like is like always well known at this like bar or something.
And
Because I
he's just
remember the
like,
lyrics, "Watch out, Jack, he's on his way, Big Jack," and it like keeps going to the main chorus.
right.
I gave it a 9, just because I don't play it all the time, but I do
Yeah.
like this song and it's very memorable. I do remember it very well. I gave it a 9 to be nice. It's not like up there with the first two tracks for me, but
Um, I gave it an 8.5. I'm being generous here.
yeah, that's okay.
Um, Now this next song though,
Okay,
anything
so
goes.
yeah, track number 4, Anything Goes. This one I don't play a lot anymore. Like I had a phase like last summer where I played it a lot, and I think the problem was I played it too much. I played it too much to the point where I got sick of it. It's not a bad song. It's very good. Believe it or not, I actually did a little research on this song earlier because I was very curious. It is one of the singles off of this
Hmm.
album.
Yeah.
However, this was the last track, last minute decision to be added to this album. This track almost didn't make it.
Damn, that
And I
would have
could
been
kind of see
crazy.
why. It kind of has a different vibe to it. It sounds more of like an upbeat, cheery, like flowery type of ACDC song that I'm not used to hearing. So I can see why it almost didn't make the album. But then again, I'm kind of glad it made the album. Like, it's really not a bad song, but I
Hmm.
played it too much to the point where I got sick of it.
I mean, that's rightfully so. Like I think it was like either what was it? I think it was Wheels.
Oh no, not Wheels.
I think it was either Wheels or Rock and Roll Train. I think that kind of like got a little overplayed for me, but then I like stopped it for a while, and I was like, oh okay, and kind of like came back, and I was like, oh okay, I was like I'm not gonna overplay myself again. Um, so the meaning for this one, it's a song that celebrates the reckless and free-spirited lifestyle of a young woman who likes rock and roll music. I think
Hmm.
maybe based on the lyrical content, maybe that's why.
I actually took this one in a rated R direction, believe it or not.
Of course.
No, I actually did. I took it in a rated R direction because some lyrics that kind of hint at that. Sneaking around with her Romeo, like think about it. You know the story of Romeo and Juliet. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I kind of took it in that way a little bit just by hearing the lyrics. Um, but to each their own. Like I said before, anyone can take these songs in any particular way that they would like.
And
I gave this a 9. Like I said, it's not up there with Rock and Roll Train or Skies on Fire for me, but it is still a good song.
yeah, I gave it a 9 as well.
Hey, good. We're on the same page on that. Also, sorry, I have allergies right now, so like my voice is a little raspy.
Yeah, like I said that in the detox ones, like I was like very like stuffy, and I was like trying to make
Niffy.
sure I wasn't like going, like whatever, and
God damn it.
we have fun here. Uh,
You make the weirdest noises sometimes.
Hey, that's the fun part about me though. Like, hey, I mean, I bring the life to the show a little bit. Come
And
on.
I don't.
And you do. You do.
Kidding.
You have your moments. You have your moments.
Jesus. Okay. Track number 5 was War Machine. Oh boy. So, the first time I found this song, I believe it was WrestleMania 25. They used this
Hmm.
as one of the theme songs.
Hmm.
Man, this song is kick ass. Like, it actually fits the whole WrestleMania vibe. Honestly, I feel like it fits any fucking pay per view vibe, even Survivor Series. Um, I only have one flaw with this song. I wish it was longer. I feel like it ends
Yeah,
too quickly. Like it's like only like 2 minutes long. It's not a stereotypical ACDC song where it's like 3 to 4 minutes. It's like a little over 2 minutes.
it's
I kind of wish it was a little longer.
it's kind of like a judge situation where it's like it was like
Oh,
super short, but it kind of like packed a punch a little bit.
yeah.
But
It's
it's
like
like,
I.
man, that
That's
was
like the Billy
shoot.
Talent situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So I think the lyrics kind of depict a mindset and actions of a soldier or a fighter, maybe. Because I mean, like the thing itself is self-explanatory. War machine, like soldiers are going to war all the time, and they're like, they have to make choices and actions of what they do. Um, but maybe if you look at the lyrical content, maybe it could be taken in a different direction. I really don't know.
I take it in
Um,
like the thought of WWE. Like I always think of WrestleMania 25 with this song.
that's crazy. Like, yeah, it's like came out and well,
Came out in '08. Yeah.
that mania came out in '09. So
Yeah, the album dropped in the fall of '08, and I guess they had every right to use it at WrestleMania that following year. I think that actually fits because they're still promoting the album, which is
hmm.
good. And that same WrestleMania, they also used a Back in Black track titled "Shoot to Thrill." So that also really fits. So like every time I hear "Shoot to Thrill," I think of WrestleMania 25. It's like I like that. Like I actually have like more of like
This
I don't know,
connection
like a
there.
kind of more of like a connection to the songs.
Hmm.
Brings me back to my childhood. So War Machine, I gave a 9.5 out of 10. I gave it the point 0.5 because of the WrestleMania value. Like it just adds a little bit of sparkle to it.
Yeah. Um, I gave it a 9.5 as well. I really didn't think about the WrestleMania tie-in with it until you said it. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. They did put it for WrestleMania that year. I didn't think about that. Um, it is a kick-ass song. I wish it was a little bit longer, like you said.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, it's like well, that's just me though. It's like I think it's depictions of like a soldier or a fighter or whatever, but it's like if you think about it like in our terms, it's like it's more like a wrestling thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, for any wrestling fan out there too, it's like it could be like more of like a wrestling thing, but
I mean, maybe that's how they got into ACDC for that
maybe,
song.
yeah, maybe. So track number 6, Smash and Grab, actually one of my personal favorites. I feel like people shit on this song too much. I don't know why. I really like this song. It just has like a good like a mean sound to it.
It kind of, I don't know if this resonated with you, but it kind of maybe reminded me of like maybe Back in Black vibes, maybe
It
kind
kind
of.
of did like kind of a mix of that and like for those about to rock, both albums together. It kind of gave me
Yeah,
that sense.
because it's like I was like when I was listening to it with you, I was like kind of reminds me of like Back in Black mixture of like like for those about to rock vibes, and I was like, I was like, I wonder if she caught on that, but I was like, never, I just don't, I didn't know. Um, let's see, okay, so Smash and Grab. I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what I thought about it. Encourages the listeners to seize the moment and take what they want without remorse.
Ooh, that's actually a good way of looking at it.
Hmm, you're welcome.
You know what? That's actually a good way of looking at that song. I agree with that. That actually works.
Big
For
brain.
for me, I've played this song a lot, but like not a lot recently. But like every time I hear it, I don't skip it. I really like this song. I'm gonna
Mm,
give it a 10 because I really like it.
I gave it a 10 as well.
Cool. So, track number 7. This is an interesting one. Spoiling for a fight. Once again, the way I found this song, once again, was through WWE. They used this as their theme song for Survivor Series in 2008. So, not too long after Black Ice came out, they ended up using one of their songs for a pay per view, which that is amazing. Like, they're promoting the album early. So, they promoted this album twice in their whole span of pay per views. That's pretty kick ass. And not to mention, I think Vince loves his ACDC. I mean, come on, at this point.
That's some good shit right there.
I love spoiling for a fight. Every time I think of this song, I think of fucking Cena beating the piss out of Jericho.
Oh yeah, that's where he takes the
And
world title.
you know what's funny? We were just talking about, like, not too long ago, we were just talking about the whole Shawn Michaels and Jericho rivalry on the
Hmm.
show. And then I'd
Hmm.
mentioned at the end how Jericho's next rivalry was fucking John Cena. And fucking Survivor Series comes in, and well, here we are, the theme song for Survivor Series that year. That is actually really funny. It's like a full circle moment.
It's like it's crazy that like I wonder who like actually talked to Brian and Angus and like all the ACDC um like to get them to promote their songs and their album on their pay-per-view, because it's gotta be either a Vince idea, which I mean highly probably so, or like it's gotta be like a Brother Love idea or something, because like somebody's gotta love their ACDC to have it not once but twice on
I
two
think
different pay-per-views.
I think what happens is they usually have to contact management, the ACDC like managers and stuff, and
True.
the managers and production and all that crap to get
Yeah.
permission. That's usually how it works on any show. They have
Hmm.
to contact producers or management to get permission to use their songs. Blah blah blah. They'll get so much money for royalties, whatever you want to call it. Spoiling for a fight. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory what this song is about.
It's about the thrill for confrontation and desire for a good fight.
Kapow!
The 1-2 punch.
The you can't see me, man,
The you can't see me, man.
or the King of Gangsters.
It's actually sad that like he's still gonna be out for a little bit longer too.
Yeah, oh yeah, MJF. I know.
Yeah. I gave it a 10,
Me
man.
too.
Like it's like I mean it's like when you cast your mind back to like Survivor Series of '08 and stuff, you gotta remember this song. Like come on, like
I
come on.
remember seeing it right on the cover of that pay per view, like right on the flyer or
Wasn't
whatever.
wasn't it around the time when they were promoting SBR '09 too?
Something like that, yeah. Because usually they promote it during the fall of that year in hopes that it sells for Christmas and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I remember seeing us on the poster. He's like really pissed off. Like you see like this like gray smoke
I'm about to
behind
go get
him.
my. I'm
I'm
about to
about
go
to
get my.
kick some ass.
I'm about to go get my third world title. Let's go.
Oh god. So, on to track number 8, the final track of this episode, Wheels. So, we're kind of ending on a went went kind of note.
Went one.
Honestly, besides Rough Stuff from Blow Up Your Video, this probably has to be another one of ACDC's worst songs. It's just super repetitive. I don't really like the lyrics are not there. Like the lyrics are just not there. Like I always see this one fucking joke. I don't know if it's on the comments for the audio or if it's on the ACDC Discord server. They're like, my favorite part is when they say wheels. Like I freaking love that joke. It's like like I mean they're not
when
wrong.
I when I hear when I hear Wheels now, it just reminds me of the Foo Fighters song Wheels.
Yeah, the Foo Fighters song is 10 times better.
Yeah, it's like I wish that, like they would have just been like, okay, Brian, let me just take over for you real quick, and they just make Wheels like on the black ice, like off of black ice. Just be like, yeah, so we came up with the song Wheels, and this is how it goes, and it goes Wheels, Wheels, Wheels. Um,
It's just meh. It's
so
okay.
so there's an actual interesting backstory behind this one.
Oh, oh God.
It's it's something like not too like fucking crazy out there or anything. It's not. It has nothing to do with tires or wheels or anything. Um, but it was like I think Angus told the story where like Brian liked old vintage race cars in the U.S. and stuff, and so Brian told Motor Trend magazine that the Youngs wrote the track because they knew that Brian was a huge like car freak.
Oh yeah.
Um, which I was like, that's kind of like interesting to like to know because it's like you wouldn't think like Brian's a huge car freak, but if you recall like me talking about the Brian like autobiography that I listened to like last year, he was like a huge like car fanatic. Like he actually like he worked on cars. He like helped like make sure they were tip top shape back in the day when he was younger. And so like I kind of like thought it was like interesting. Like it was a kind of like a full circle moment for me too, because I was like, oh yeah, like I kind of knew he was a huge car fanatic, and then when I wrote it down, I was like, oh shit, that makes sense. Um, okay. Try not to judge it too harshly. I'm gonna probably put it like 7.5 for me.
I'm gonna put it at an 8. Just because like yeah, it's memorable, but like it's not my favorite song off of this album.
The best part is them going wheels, wheels.
Yes. So now that we have broken down the first half of the album, let's rank this first half on a scale from 0 to 100. I did my math already. Did you do yours?
Let me go do mine real quick.
All right. While you do yours, I'm gonna go ahead and discuss mine, just so we can keep the episode rolling.
Mhm.
So, the first half of this album gets a 94.3 from me. Overall, it's really not a bad start. With the one track being 8 with Wheels at an 8.10, the rest of the tracks are fairly strong, especially starting off hot with Rock and Roll Train. Now, I always say this, you want to start good and end good. Um, if we're talking just with the opener track, I think this album is doing good so far. The second half of the album, I think it's going to be even better. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, I'm very pleased with the first half, especially with the two songs that really bring back a lot of memories with War Machine and Spoiling for a Fight. I mean, come on. Wrestling fans
Right.
unite.
All right. So I did my math for the first half. I did a 92.5.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Um, the one weak link is fucking wheels, obviously, but it's not going to deter the whole ranking for me.
Right.
Um, I mean, overall, like the first half that we were talking about tonight, it's not it's not bad. It's really solid. Um, I mean, if count if you count like War Machine and you have Spoiling for a Fight and you have like man, it's like it's so good. It's really good. Um, like I think my one little nitpick on it, it's like I think Wheels could have probably been like a non-factor, and I think would have been fine. That's just me though. I don't really know if there's anybody else out there that probably thinks like that, but um, it's kind of sad that we are ending this first part on kind of like a wah, like a very sour note, kind of. But the second half should be way better.
Oh, yeah. So that wraps up part one of the breakdown of Black Ice by ACDC. I hope you enjoyed. As I mentioned already, part two will be next Sunday. So you will not want to miss that. That'll be tracks 9 to 15. I have all the notes for that, so we're ready to go for that.
Yeah.
But I know you guys are probably wondering, how are we going to start May out this time around? So, this May, first episode of the month, we are doing a breakdown of, not breakdown, we are doing a random ranking episode. I'm so used to doing breakdowns at the beginning of the month. This will probably be the first time we've done a random ranking at the beginning of the month in a long time. So, I
Mhm.
actually went back through our episodes for random ranking and I noticed we had not done Fall Out Boy yet. which is odd because we wrapped up our Fall Out Boy pilgrimage at the very end of December. You think we would have done it by now?
But we didn't.
We did Simple Plan before we did Fall Out Boy for random
Which,
ranking. That is sad.
but it's like it was. I think it was like how it timed out and stuff like that. We were like so focused on Simple Plan, we just want to get it done. The random ranking and all that stuff too. So it was like we just wanted to get that out there. I think we just forgot completely about Fall Out Boy, and we were just not
I'm so
salty,
sorry,
but we
Fall
were
Out
just kind of
Boy.
like we were just like shit.
I'm so sorry, Fall Out Boy. I will be on my hands and knees and I will literally fucking make it up to you.
Oh
So,
Lord.
these are the 10 songs we have up for grabs for our very first episode of Random Ranking Fall Out Boy Edition. Starting at number 1, we have the Kintsugi Kid 10 Years from the newest album. Number
Mm,
2, Heartbreak Feels So Good, also from the newest album. Track
mm.
number 3 will be 4th of July from American Beauty, American Psycho. Number 4, Sophomore Slump or Comeback of the Year from Take This to Your Grave? No. Wait. No, from Under the Cork Tree. Here's the thing. I get Take This to Your Grave and
Never
From
the
Under the
Cork
Cork
Tree.
Tree mixed up
Mm-hmm.
because they sound so similar. They're like literally a couple years apart. So my
Mm-hmm.
bad. That is from Under the Cork Tree. Number 5, Love from the Other Side from the recent album. Number 6, The Mighty Fall from Save Rock and Roll. Number 7, The Kids Aren't All Right from American Beauty, American Psycho. Number 8, this is a long one. A Little Less 16 Candles, A Little More
No
Touch
more
Me
touching.
from Order the Cork Tree. Number 9, Bang the Doldrums from Infinity on High. And number 10, What a Catch Donnie. Isn't that from
I think
Folly?
that's
Is that Folly?
I think that's Folly I Do. Yeah.
Hold on a minute. I'm going to go do that. I haven't heard that song in a while.
I think that's Folly I
Yeah,
Do.
it is Folly Ado. Wow, we have a Folly Ado song. Wow, that's actually kind of a curveball. We
Well,
always seem to have a curveball.
I mean, it's not accustomed at this point. It's like we have like three from the recent album on this list. It's like that's pretty good.
This list is very heavy on the um post hiatus stuff,
Yeah.
meaning 2013 to now. This is very heavy on post hiatus stuff, which I
Mhm.
mean that's actually kind of good. Because I know eventually we're gonna have episodes where it's a mixed bag or where it's like pre hiatus stuff. Um, because we've had that happen with like what our last Def Leppard episode we did. It was like very heavy on the retroactive stuff, which that is a complete shocker.
Yeah.
Um, so that'll be this Thursday to start May off on a high note. You guys will not want to miss that. We hope you join us for that. So, I have tonight's song of the night. I'm not gonna lie. I was just gonna go with one of the tracks from the first half of Black Ice. I am gonna go with Spoiling for a Fight. Why not? I mean, why not? I mean, who else would want to see Cena beat up Chris Jericho back in 2008? I know I would. So there is not a music video for this, but I will put the audio. So Spoiling for a Fight by AC/DC from the Black Ice album. If you guys would like to take a listen to that, I will go ahead and put a link at the top right hand corner of this episode. At the very end, it'll pop up. Go on ahead, take a listen. It's very, very good. Definitely screams '08. Definitely screams Brian Johnson era AC/DC. So, if you guys stuck around to the very end, we greatly appreciate your support. Be sure to go on ahead and follow us on social media by clicking on that link in the description below, which will take you to Linktree. We have Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and Twitter. So you may want to follow us there to keep up to date with the show. Dystro's YouTube channel is there as well. What are you at right now for subscribers?
1,342.
42.
42.
So the goal is 1,400, right? By June 1st?
Yes.
Okay, so we still have time. Still got about a month left to go. So I think we'll get you there. If you guys are not familiar with Dystro's YouTube channel, he posts gaming content and memes weekly. Sometimes I'll send him funny stuff on Instagram and he'll go ahead and like repost it on his channel because I am funny and I find the funny stuff. That's me. Um, Jesus Christ, this is why nobody wants to talk to me because I am so like all about myself. No, I'm really not like that in real life, guys. I promise. But yeah, he posts a lot of funny stuff, and I play games outside of the show a few days a week. So I'm in there too sometimes. We play a lot of GTA. Roblox as well has been on our agenda. I'm gonna run back some games though pretty soon. I'm not sure when or what, but so go on ahead and subscribe to Dystro's channel if you have not done so already and share his stuff around. Once again, take a listen to tonight's song of the night, Spoiling for a Fight by AC/DC, and that's it. Thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you guys in May. Peace!
Peace.